Words can't describe what it's like to lose the joy of Christmas.
The holiday season forever dimmed for father Kent Landry, a vigil marking a year since his 21-year-old son Jason left school the night of December 13th, finished with finals, and headed home. As he approached this intersection in Luling, Texas, cell phone data indicates he may have been distracted by a Snapchat message. Instead of turning right toward the interstate that would have taken him home, he continued straight, eventually winding his way to Salt Flat Road. It's also where investigators' theories diverge.
We've interviewed a lot of people. We believe, again, with high confidence, that something nefarious happened to him out there.
Landry drove several miles up this remote gravel road in the dark. Tire marks show where he veered off into a tree. His car found wrecked. His keys, wallet, even pet fish still inside, but no sign of Jason.
This is his flip-flops.
His clothes and shoes,
socks, shorts,
strewn across the road. The temperature near freezing.
It's frustrating because we don't have hard answers.
Captain Jeff Ferry is the lead investigator on the case. He says after 7 search efforts involving hundreds of people, canines, horses, drones, and even computer models to locate bones, there's been no sign of Jason Landry and no evidence of a crime involving someone else.
There's no definitive information proving one thing or disproving another. And the things that we do feel extremely confident in, people don't like those.
The Landrys are pushing for access to cell phone data, a geofencing warrant, to show if anyone else was there that night.
That simple answer to that question could turn this investigation completely one way or another.
But police won't request the records if they don't have evidence of a crime. The private investigator is now asking the district attorney to look at the case and re-interview possible witnesses.
Witnesses that, for whatever reason, gave different accounts to different people. And I think they need to talk to them with a little more leverage that law enforcement can exert on them and try and get some answers.
Kent Landry retracing his son's path, haunted by thoughts of that night.
This is part of his car right here.
And the lack of answers.
Here we are over a year later now, and I don't feel like we have any more answers. In fact, I think we have more unanswered questions than we have answered questions. You can't put it in a place where you can begin to move on with life. You're just stuck. You're stuck with questions that no one's answering.
And Marnie, you and I talked about that decomposed body that was found in Seguin, Texas on Monday. We talked about it last night right here on Prime. I do want to bring you an update. I talked to the sheriff's department of that county overseeing those remains earlier this afternoon. They do not believe that that body belongs to Jason Landry, but at this time are still not 100% positive. Even with his dental records and DNA records, they say it could take them at least a month to positively ID those remains. Marnie.
Marky, thank you. Kent Landry is Jason's father, and he is joining us live once again tonight. Mr. Landry, we appreciate you coming back on the program. And once again, I'm sorry that we still don't have any answers in your son's disappearance. I do want to start, though, with what Marky just said about these remains that were found. Are you in touch with police? Have they reached out to you as they investigate who this might be?
We found out about it yesterday. A number of people messaged me on Facebook and told me about it, and I reached out to law enforcement, and then they've been keeping up with us in terms of they don't have an ID on the body, but they do think it's not Jason.
That must have been a difficult 24 hours for you to wait.
Yeah, this is the first time we've had this type of thing where they found a body in the area. Previously, all we've had is nothing, nothing, a big zero in all the searches. So this was very, very different to I mean, pins and needles isn't the way I'd describe it, but it's a very odd feeling. On some level, you it would be a relief to find answers. But then on the other hand, what those answers mean would be, we still wouldn't have the answer as to what happened a year ago.
Mm-hmm. I do want to dig into what the private investigator has shared so far that you hired. He said he uncovered some circumstantial evidence that Jason was not alone at the time of his disappearance. Can you help us understand some of the interviews that he has conducted, why he believes that?
I don't know the details, to be honest. They've been keeping it very close to the vest on some level. That's a good thing, because at least for the way my mind works, it's very hard every time you hear of a theory of the case or something that could point in one direction. Immediately you put your child in the middle of that situation, and that's heart-wrenching every single time. And it's not something you really want to think a lot about.
I know there was some frustration, Kent, early in the investigation in terms of the time law enforcement spent getting out there, gathering evidence. Was Jason's car checked for forensic evidence? Was DNA samples taken from the car? And did anything come of that in terms of clues?
Later, yes. And that's just one of the real frustrations is, and everyone's seen auto accident scenes with the tape and all of that kind of stuff. That all wasn't done on the day of the accident. It was just towed, because as we talked previously, they just thought it was a drunk college student and had wrecked his car and got a ride somewhere else. So they never looked for him. They never properly investigated the accident to find out what happened, how it happened. And they did go back and sweep the car for forensic evidence. And as far as I know, there's nothing in particular. I know all of us who could have been in the car have given all their DNA and all that kind of stuff. So they may have some items that are simply unidentified. And if they had a potential suspect, then I guess they would go and test against that known suspect.
I do know that they pinged Jason's cell phone in a number of places as he made that trip from school on his way home. Did anything stand out to you in terms of what that revealed, the minutes of where he was before his car ended up on Salt Flat Road?
Certainly coming into Luling, because Waze pings every 10 seconds, and it's very, very precise. And you can watch his car by pings and by the distance and by the time. He wasn't going any unusual speed. He never stopped. He never got gas or anything from when he left his apartment parking lot in San Marcos to when he came into Luling. It's only right before he came up to that intersection, like the report showed, that Waze went into the background because he got a Snapchat, and after that, the precision and all of to find whatever we could from the phone in terms of tracking really goes off the wall at that point.
And I wonder if security or surveillance cameras in Luling, maybe something caught it that could provide a clue. Kent, I'm almost out of time.
There's only two, they have checked that.
Yeah.
There's only two places that have, and I know that's probably unusual for those of us who live in large cities and whatnot. There's only two businesses that had any outdoor cameras. Nothing was, they've checked every camera in Luling for the businesses and for people who have like Ring on their front door and stuff like that. And as far as we know, he was never seen. There's a car that could have been his just driving down the road, but there's nothing more than that.
It's a mystery, and for you, it's your life. I appreciate you coming on once again, Kent. I know going into the holidays must be incredibly difficult a year later, not seeing your son. Thank you for joining us. God bless you and your family, and our best to you. And I know it's important to keep his face out there to finally get some answers for you guys. So thanks again.
Thank you so much for all you've done.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.